into request topics then.
Okay.
To start it off here, we'll go with Will since he is not here.
So Will gets a voice even when he's not here?
Yeah, he still gets in there.
Damn you, Will.
I know. Well, he says, since I won't be able to make it tonight, I've got one word for you. McRib. The return of the controversial McDonald's sandwich.
Controversial?
I replied with, I love controversial sandwiches.
I don't think you do.
I like the idea of there being a sandwich that raises, like, controversy. It's
stupid as hell. And why exactly is this controversial? I don't get this.
I think it's because it's been debated for years what it's actually consisting of.
It is pork.
It is. There was an article released on how it's made. I think it was last year or the year before, and it's actually a French type of cooking method where it's basically like making a pate of sense out of the shit you don't want that's left over.
See,
it's a press form.
What people don't understand is the reason why it comes out at that time of year is because they do it when pork prices are lowest.
Which happen to always be around Christmas, I've noticed.
It's usually not Christmas, but basically this time now.
Yeah, like pre-winter.
Yeah, this is going to be around the time where pork prices are lowest. McDonald's goes, buys a bunch of shitty pork products, smushes them together. You eat your McRib with your barbecue sauce and your French fries, and you're like, damn, it's good to be American.
I'm just picturing them just like, they have two different cuts of meat, and they just like press real hard in their hands, and McRib comes out of it.
Yeah, that's what Grimace does.
They have Superman back there. Like when he's not making diamond out of coal, he's pressing McRibs in.
I mean, he's got to have a job, man. He's got to pay the bills.
Yeah, he's like, that newspaper thing didn't work out so hot.
No, he smashed the building to pieces.
They found out who I was when they caught me with my glasses off and they fired me. They're like, wait a second. Curl your hair there, make a little cue. God, get out of here. We can't have you working here.
Every time that dude's around, some kind of alien or superpowered menace or robotic Lex Luthor comes through, they're always looking for you.
Like, this makes sense. All those times Clark took unnotified vacation. It's because of you.
No call, no shows. We can't fire him, though, because he's tenured.
Yeah.
Been there for about 50 years.
Now we can fire you. Superman. But, I've never eaten a McRib.
Neither have I.
And I'm not doing it for a tries. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't
It is not something, like, I see the pictures of it and I'm like, okay.
It's never been appetizing to me.
Yeah, like, I see the picture, I'm like, it's some kind of name. This looks like a log of glazed shit laying on a bun, and then I see pickles and fucking onion, and I'm like, bleh. Bleh.
See, I don't much care for
I'll throw up.
Barbecue-y sandwiches, which is just me. I personally don't care for that kind of stuff.
I mean, I'll go for a brisket or a pork sandwich.
No, that's like saying, even if I got a brisket or a pork sandwich, I'm not going to I don't need the pork.
You would probably have, like, spice on it instead of
it would just
sauce.
be just the meat. I don't really care for the barbecue. But, like I said, the first time I saw McRib, I was like, that's not appetizing.
No, it's gross. It looks so gross.
I've eaten McDonald's, don't get me wrong. I'm not some kind of, like, non-American heathen.
Yeah.
I've had myself a McChicken or two, a quarter pounder with cheese. But
I mean, I know I got to eat some fish sandwiches coming up here, eventually.
You're about to throw up right now.
But, yeah, I'm like, bleh. I know I've got to do that for, a fan here eventually, but I'm not eating this fucking thing.
It doesn't look appetizing. I still don't understand why it's controversial.
I'd rather eat those funnel cake chips we found than this goddamn
fucking shit. You were legitimately about to buy them. You were looking for a smaller bag because you didn't want to buy.
If I could find a bag that has 3 chips in it, I would have bought it. I'm like, here we go. Let's just get it over with. I always thought, I was like, with chips, most chips, they flavor them pretty decently. And they had those goddamn sugar cookie Pringles, and I'm like, my life.
When I was at work, Pedro came up to me and was like, how's those chips? And I was like, Matt fucking hated them.
Oh,
I didn't think they were horrible, but I wouldn't buy them. He was like, yeah, because I got a can of them. I'm like, you wasted your money.
God damn. That's terrible.
Again, Will, why are these controversial sandwiches? Like, what's so upsetting about them?
I tell you what, Will, if you want to eat one for a tries, you can bring it on in here. I am not going to sit in this room because I feel like if I smell it, I'm going to throw up in that garbage can behind me.
They don't really have that odd of a smell. They just
I don't know.
smell like barbecue sauce.
When I used to eat fast food more often, I remember like going in around this time of the year, and McDonald's just had a different aura to it when the McRib was present. It was just like everybody just kind of like, and you kind of seen it. It was like the difference between walking into a Target and a Walmart. You see different types of folks, and it's like when the McRib comes around, you're just like, oh shit.
Well, you have to also think, which Walmart are you going into?
Well, the worst one of all, the one in my hometown. The one that's supposedly like the second largest one on the East Coast or something.
Because there's some bad Walmarts, but there are also some pretty decent ones that are just like, I can see that this is a reputable company selling reputable things. But then you go to that Kmart over by the family
You haven't
diner
even seen
in
the
Prescott.
worst. You haven't even seen the worst. It wasn't even Prescott, it was Prospect.
I get that place wrong all the time. It doesn't matter.
Prescott.
I legitimately went in there and felt like I was fucking depressed.
Yeah.
I left and it was like a huge weight lifted off my shoulders.
It's a depressing store to be in. So I don't know. That is my experience with the McRib. Nothing good.
I've worked at a McDonald's. I made too many of those to fucking count.
Now the Pandora's box is slightly open.
How? You knew this.
I know you never told me you worked at a McDonald's.
Yeah, when I was in Texas.
Whenever we would like be driving you home late at night, I'm like, I'm hungry as shit. And JV's like, well, I could stop at McDonald's or something. You're like, don't! No!
Because you know it's a bad idea.
I'm like, I know Jason has refined taste buds, but why does he hate McDonald's so much? And now I know.
Look, I've not had McDonald's in several years. I've not had Taco Bell in longer. I
imagine if I worked at one, I would be like, no.
I've last had a Burger King anything quite some time ago. I think it was the chicken fries, and I was just like, I legit felt sick to my stomach. I at that point,
Yeah,
I was like, I'm done. I used to remember going to Burger King, excuse me,
Yeah.
and being like, I want the chicken fries because I liked chicken fries when I was younger. And now I can't even fucking walk into a damn Burger King. My fast food is limited to like Chick-fil-A.
Which is good. It's probably
That's my fast
it's
food.
probably the best of the.
If there was a Rally Burger or In-N-Out, I go to those. And I know you people are like, what about Five Guys? I've never had a Five Guys burger.
I don't know why I don't consider them fast food though.
This fast food is just better fast food.
Yeah, I guess
It's just like
better.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, it's
Or
true.
Rally Burger. But we don't have Rally Burgers up here. If you don't know what Rally is, if you ever go to like a grocery store and you see the bags of seasoned fries that say Checkers or Rallies,
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's
I get
them.
It's the same thing.
yeah.
Kind of like
It's
how
just
we
like
have Carl's
Arby's.
Juniors and Hardee's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I never knew.
Learn something every day.
Yeah. Jesus. Well, okay, we're going to go into one more request topic here. This one comes from Brian Peterson. He says,
Hi, Brian.
for each of you, which will just be us now.
Yeah, Will. Write your answer in, Will.
Yeah, Will, you got time to study
Take
this.
it to the principal, Will.
For each of you, what are your top 5 books/stories? This one's going to take some thought. Because,
I like me some books. I will have
do.
to say that the Goblet of Fire, the fourth Harry Potter book, is probably... I'm not going to put this in any order because that's too difficult.
yeah,
for me,
just
but
name 5 books.
Goblet of Fire is definitely in my top 5. I fucking love that book. My mom got it for me when I was in PFL in 5th grade.
Yeah.
Shipped it to me in the summer.
Hi, Chief.
And I literally spent the next, 3 weeks reading that book at least twice.
Yeah.
Like, I would not put it down. I fucking love that book.
Let me see, one for me. More recently, within the past couple of years, I remember at Christmas, Jamie bought me Full Dark, No Stars, Stephen King book, and it's like one of his collections of mini stories. That was really good. I enjoyed the hell out of that one. I recommend that. Man, I've read just mostly Stephen King in my life, though.
I don't want to cop out. I'm not saying that you did,
Yeah.
but I don't want to cop out by saying the Necronomicon for Lovecraft, because that's literally just like everything he's written. And he's only really ever done short stories, but
I mean, like, for him, Call of Cthulhu is always considered his magnum opus, but I thought I enjoyed At Mountains of Madness a lot more than Call of Cthulhu, and, what was it? The Dunwich Horror was really good.
Yeah.
That one doesn't really get a whole lot of recognition either.
A lot of his stuff doesn't.
It's for some reason, whenever people talk about it, they either talk about, like, Cthulhu or Dagon.
But
or they make a movie, that's the only two they use.
Yeah. Well, what can you do? People like what the people like.
I'm like, you don't want to talk about Nyarlathotep? This giant mass of just disgusting shit?
I mean, a lot of them are like that.
It can just turn into whatever the fuck it wants to? That's kind of scary to me.
If you want to go with stories as well, I will say that the first BioShock, if you want to count this anyway, because it is a story, people.
It is a story.
Don't try and pull that, it's a video game. It's a damn story, and people have gone to the ends of the earth to discuss whether or not video games are art. I will defend to the death my right to claim that. Why does your fan just like turn itself on?
Did you hit the...
I didn't touch it, dude. It just turned itself on. It's too spooky.
I was like, what is that noise?
That video games have great stories, and the first BioShock has an amazing story.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of, like, even after you finish beating it, you know it, but it feels really good to get to certain parts in that game. Like, Matt will say, Sander Cohen's, like, probably his favorite character in that, but, man.
Actually,
The betrayal from fucking Atlas.
Yeah. Which I find it funny now, there's a lot of edgy motherfuckers, like, post that game being around forever and people knowing about that now. They're like, oh, like, you couldn't see that coming. And I'm like, no. You fucking couldn't see that coming.
Yeah, even if you could, you also wouldn't know. Your fucking Andrew Ryan's son sent in there to kill him.
I didn't see that coming.
And you were made by basically his rival and his closest confidant. You were naturally born.
Yeah, the whole memory you have in the beginning where you're like monologuing to yourself, that was put in your head. None of that ever fucking happened. That picture of that family you have, not real.
When you find out, oh, you hijacked the plane and crashed it here.
Yeah.
That whole game is it's so beautifully written.
It's like you basically flew it into the sky, passed out, walked back, got in a seat, thought you were in a plane, and just... No, that... As far as video games go, that is a game who probably has one of the best planned out stories in it. Because BioShock 2 felt like it was more like a straight action game. It was just like, you're one of the big daddies, and you died, but you didn't really die. You woke up in a sewer, and now you gotta go save the little sisters if you want. And it was just kind of like, I get what you're doing. It was always cool, like, seeing the big daddies, and you're like, oh, I wonder what it'd be like to be one, and then you find out you're just as weak as you were if you be a human.
They really refined the combat, which is nice, because I fucking wanted that, but still.
Yeah. And no matter how much I upgraded that drill arm, I felt like I never had enough gas for it.
You had to do a lot of, like, spec specifically into it, otherwise it didn't really work. It's not really a novel, but I don't really want to call it a textbook either, but it's called Depth in the Sky.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it's called. And it's really fucking good. It's informative, basically about the many various ways that the universe is trying to kill us all. I love the alien part, which is just like, it's not gonna fucking, like, legit, he's just like, it's not gonna fucking happen. But to just, indulge you.
What, that aliens aren't gonna come here?
That kind of stuff just, it is a very tiny chance that it could possibly happen, because if, say, you got this alien bacteria from an asteroid, was grown in that very specific environment. Right. You come to Earth, it's extremely different. It's not just gonna be like, I'm suddenly more resilient or powerful. It's just gonna die.
Right.
It's just like, let's send up some fucking chimps or something into space, see what happens. If you just leave them in space, they're gonna fucking die, because space is not made for them.
Nah, they'll find a different sun that gives them power.
Stop that shit.
Fucking super chips.
This is not goddamn those absurd fucking offshoot Superman cartoons, like with Super Dog, Crypto the Super Mutt, excuse me.
Oh god, Crypto. Speaking of comics, many great stories in comic books. I just finished reading one. It was the first time I read this, And I knew that it was like a fantastic story, but the Killing Joke.
You just read the Killing
I just
Joke?
finished reading it.
Oh, it's so good though.
That was fantastic. Like,
so how do you feel about the end?
I was kind of like,
kill him or
was
he
like,
apprehended?
What the fuck? I lost it though when I'm reading it, and I get spoilers for people who might not have read
It's
it.
been
But
so long since
when you get to the end part, and Batman's just like, like he's kind of laughing a little bit, and I'm like, that's funny to me to see him smirking like he's laughing at the joke.
Like it's such a good story. That is a really.
It was, and then like, you realize how like, you read that and you're like, well, no one ever got his origin right. Like when they made movies, like
no,
like he was just a guy. He was down his luck.
Bad fucking side of some people, and shit just did not go well for him.
But that was a fantastic story. I wouldn't say it's up there as one of my favorite Batman stories. I don't really know if I have a favorite Batman story. It would kind of be a tie either between Hush.
Hush is good.
Or Death in the Family.
I've actually never read Death in the Family, but if you're gonna bring that up, I would kind of have to say, because I've spent a good amount of a chunk of change and a lot of time reading it. I would say that Nightfall is in my top 5.
Oh my god, you need to clear like a fucking month out of your schedule to read through that whole
If
thing.
you've never seen the
good.
collections of Nightfall, they're about that thick.
Yeah.
And there's 3 of them.
Yeah, it's like the Walking Dead compendiums plus an inch.
Yeah. But basically, the Nightfall is about Bane, how he comes to Gotham. Like, you actually find out his real backstory, and not that dumbass Dark Knight Rises, where he came out of a pit in, like, Syria.
I was born in the dark. I was molded by it.
You find out about Bane, how he was born inside El Duro. I can't remember. It's the Hard Rock, basically, is the name of the prison. It's a prison for only people that are going to be there for life, and you have to do some really heinous shit to get there. He was born in there because his mom was put there. He was raised by the prisoners. Actually is extremely intelligent. Gets picked by the government to test his super soldier serum on. Obviously, it does not go well for them. He breaks out with some of his peoples. They go to Gotham because he has this vision to basically defeat Batman. It's like, this is my test to see how good I am.
Yeah.
And he doesn't go and do all that ridiculous shit. What he does is he slowly wears Batman down by breaking everyone out of fucking Arkham.
Yeah.
So Batman now has literally everybody he's ever fought running around in one night, and he has to get them back.
Yep.
So there's fucking Scarface, Joker,
Scarecrow.
Firefly, Scarecrow, Killer Croc, every fucking body. And Bane's just sitting back watching this, and then every so often he'll send one of his minions out to go and fuck with him more.
I just feel like Bane's such an asshole, too. It's like, Batman finally just kind of gets everything wrapped up. Like, he almost achieves his goal. Like, there's a few still left. Yeah. He's like, I gotta go back home. I'm fucking dying. I'm exhausted. Yeah. He goes home, and he's just like, he takes his cowl off, and he's like putting the coat in, and Bane's just like standing there on the other side of the door or
Bane
whatever.
Just beats his ass.
Bane's like, what's up? I found your home. He's like, ugh. Let's fight. He's just like hitting them with punches, and Bane's just like, yeah, I'm fresh. I just got up from a nap, by the way. Power nap.
And if you don't know, that's where the infamous Bane breaking Batman's back comes from. And even on the cover, they have like him just literally breaking Batman in half.
Yeah.
And then it transitions into Jean-Paul Valley, which, if you don't know who he is, it's acceptable because a lot of people don't know who he is. Bruce Wayne passes the cowl over to him because he was like, I don't want Robin to get involved into this.
I don't need another Robin death on my hands.
And he didn't ask for Nightwing because, again, same thing.
Yeah.
But it turns out Jean-Paul Valley is insane as shit.
He's like, I'll just make this mech bat suit.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll just kill people. That way I don't have to worry about them ever again.
He doesn't start killing people until a little bit later, but like one person dies.
He comes to that conclusion.
He lets one person die. It's like, well, fuck it.
He's like, well, somebody's dead. Might as well just keep rolling with it.
Exactly.
I can't go back now.
And then it comes full circle. he comes back and reclaims the mantle of the Bat and sets things right again. It's a very good story.
That's probably the best Batman story. It's up there.
But a fifth one for me,
It's good. I'm trying to think of like other books I've read outside. Oh, well, fuck, Lord of the Flies. I mean, that's a classic. I mean, everybody should read that.
It's very good.
Everybody should read that. One of my other favorite classics was two favorite classics was Old Man and the Sea, and Mice of Men. They're probably like my two favorite classic books.
Mice of Men's very good.
Yeah. I mean, Moby Dick's okay. It's one of those classics, but it's not for everybody. It's about, 1/4 Ahab going after a whale, and, the rest of it, the other 3/4 is like a how to kill whales manual. Essentially.
A little bit.
Yeah, but it's still good. You come out of it and you're like, I know more about whales than I ever needed to know in my life.
I guess, I don't know. This fifth one's a hard decision for me because I want to say Phantom Soul Booth. Because I fucking love that book.
Yeah.
But I also want to say Island of the Blue Dolphins. I want to say, I can't remember the name of the book.
Any of your Star Wars books?
Not really. They're good, but I wouldn't put them in my top 5.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the book. Basically, there's a young kid. He goes hunting, and there's like wolves. I can't fucking remember the name of this book, and it's sad.
Shit.
I really liked it too. It was one of my favorite books. But I would also put in the first Wicked book in this list of like books that are close, not my top 5, as well as The Devil of Nanjing, which is about a girl who goes to China to try and find out about this picture she has, and you find out about this guy who basically has been doing some really, really heinous shit since World War II, where, if you don't know, the Japanese were quite heinous during that time. They literally went into a city and killed so many people, there were mountains of bodies, rivers of blood, and they're just raping and killing as much as they could. So yeah, if you didn't like the Japanese, you probably don't like them even more now. But if you did like the Japanese, you're probably thinking maybe that weirdness is just them being fucked up people.
There's something wrong there.
Exactly.
I would also throw The Demon in the Glass in there because I wrote it and I think it's fantastic. And you can buy it at Smashwords.com if you would choose.
It is really good. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and be like, yeah, that's
I know it's not
my
your
top 5.
Yeah, I know it's not.
You know what? Just put it in there because I've literally read through them multiple times and I will be that guy. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yeah. And I've said it. I think I've said this a couple times.
I think specifically though, the second one.
Oh yeah, the second book's way better. The third one kind of got a little goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second one's way better because that's when they're like, okay, all right, we wrote the first one, and we saw the crazy shit we could get away with. Now let's just go completely bananas.
Let's fuck these kids up for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, let's start writing about real shit that happened.
That would be my 5th. I would put that one as my 5th.
That second book did get me. I know every now and then, sometimes when I'm driving home late at night and I'm by myself, I look in the back seat every now and then. Because because there was one time I remember it's like somebody was flashing their high beams and I'm like, there's a fucking killer in my back seat. Scary Stories taught me this shit. I'm not looking back. I'm just gonna go. If I feel the sweet release of death, it happens. That's all I can do.
There's nothing you can do about it.
There's nothing I can do about it.
That's life.
If I turn around and alert the guy he's there, he's killing me then. At least now I got a couple more minutes of life in me. Oh, man. But yeah, there are so many good stories. There are so many good books out there. Like, I know reading the book isn't always anybody's hobby, but I would recommend, if you always wanted to get into it, graphic novels is a good starting point because you at least still have an illustration. You can start teaching your brain to develop pictures in your head. So when you move on to something that doesn't have photos in it, you can kind of make that connection with stuff.
I feel like a lot of problems that certain people have is that they never really read when they were younger.
Yeah.
So they never really developed that desire or feeling of, I'm enjoying this. It was more of this is a chore, I don't want to do this.
Right.
And as you get older, you start talking to people like, I read all the time. And you just kind of like, you kind of edge your way out of that conversation because you don't want to be that guy. It's like, I don't read. That's for fucking nerds.
It's like, not really. It's fun, you know.
But no, reading is a good way to pass the time without having to always be plugged into the internet or anything like that. It's good to have some time to yourself every now and then. You know, wind down and just enjoy something without the constant feeling of, do my friends like this? What are they doing?
Right. I partially sometimes wish I lived back in the days when, like, a book came out and that's what everybody talked about. They're like, did you read that book yet? You know, like, I kind of wish I was around in it, because...
I get what you're saying, but fuck off, man. You'd be so upset if you couldn't play certain video games again.
No, I mean, I wish I could still be around in a time when there was that kind of, like...
mentality.
Yeah, a mentality about it. Because, you know, yes, video games, movies, all that shit's great. You know, the fact that I could just sit my ass down in a chair and basically have, let's just say Doctor Strange, for example, I could have the whole origin of Doctor Strange roughly given to me in, like, an hour. Instead of, like...
They did a really good job in the movie, actually. You're going to enjoy it when you watch it.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. Like, it's, you know, that's fine. But then there's things that I hate is when I go and see that kind of thing and I know about it already and I'm like, you've missed so many points here. Like,
that's one thing that books really do well.
Yeah.
And also ruin for people. Because I know, if you don't know this, I fucking love Harry Potter. The first book I got was from the Gifted and Talented teacher in Card McRae. I read it so much, it literally got ripped in half. Because I was opening it so much. I pretty much, like, eat, sleep, and breathe that book. It was what I did all the time. I remember the movie came out. Mind you, I'm in, like, 6th grade, I think. And talking to my brother, and I'm like, this movie's fucking garbage. I do not want to watch, like, the teacher put it on, and I'm literally just like, I'm not going to fucking watch, I'm taking a nap. Fuck this movie. It's awful. I fucking hated it, because it's just, when you read a book, you get the idea of what everything looks like in your head. And you also get the idea of how things are pronounced in your head.
Yeah.
Like, this world is now, it's yours. You've built this up from nothing, from these words that someone gave you. And then someone else comes along, does something with it, and you're just like, everything's wrong.
It's like, no, motherfucker. I know, like, what was it, I guess it was a couple years ago, the Ender's Game movie came out, and I knew nothing about it, and I know Jamie's a big Orson Scott Card fan. She loves all his books. And I knew we were going to go see it, and I'm like, well, I kind of want to know about this, so I read Ender's Game. And then we go in and we're watching it, and I'm like, huh. Like, they picked up on some things, like, they did some things, like, scene for scene, like, what I would imagine it would have looked like, you know. But they skipped so many, like, he has a brother and a sister in the book that, and I'm sure at a point they were planning on making more off of this because there's a lot of the movie companies were scrambling to try and find that next Harry Potter because at the time that was done. And they're like, well, what do we do now for the teens?
You need the monies.
And
no more Twilights, no more Harry Potters.
Yeah. I mean, Ender has a brother and a sister in the book that go off and they basically make a name for themselves and they kind of start like a rebellion in this universe of things that are going on because like the ones against like the military, like they're in this program that's almost kind of like what I called the Halo Project, is like they took young kids in and trained them to be stronger soldiers. They didn't like shoot them up or anything, but they were just training them.
Hey. They were giving child enhancing serums.
Ointments. It's enhancement creams. But, you know, it was kind of like that same idea, and they left the brother and the sister out, which I was like, if you're going to expand, that's kind of weird.
That's the perfect way to go. Another movie that I felt ruined the books, even though I didn't watch the rest of the movies, and I don't ever plan to watch the rest of the movies, so if you like them, then good for you, but I didn't, was any of the Hunger Games movies. I read all the Hunger Games books. I love those Hunger Games books.
Right.
Very good. The first book was so good. I watched the movie and I was just like, I was sitting there with my ex and I'm just like, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. I was so upset. It's like not even stuff that like, you know, needed to be changed. They just decided we're changing this.
Yeah, fuck it.
Because we fucking have the rights to.
We can. Fuck you, that's why.
Pretty much. So annoyed.
Well, guys, I think we covered more than 5 books each. I think we even covered Will.
You still owe us that homework, Will.
Yeah.
Not off that easy.
Yeah, you can't call in sick. You still got homework to do. I'll bring it by your house if you need me to. All right, everybody. Well, that will end our episode today. So, you know, down below, annotations of all the places you can find us and get in contact with us. And as always, thank you so much for watching and for listening. We'll catch you in the next episode.